was in the penitentiary for 49 years. I got out, and I got centrally located over there by Simon Terrace. I got an apartment, and the disability thing, they only give me $800 a month disability, so I got, most of that goes for rent, and then I have the utilities and all the other stuff. But they have so many good programs out here to help people.
I'm Don Bosley. I am the pastor of Lighthouse Covenant Church and the chair of the West Sacramento Mercy Coalition. I remember going to a city council meeting to advocate for homeless services. And there was someone who was not advocating for homeless services who stood up and spoke to the council that night. And his suggestion was that the homeless were an irritant and annoying, and we should pack them all up and send them to Woodland, because there was a homeless shelter in Woodland. And I remember sitting there in the gallery that night, and it really hit me. As a son of West Sacramento, somebody who grew up here, I remember thinking, this person's not from here, are they? Because that's not what we do in West Sacramento. We take care of our people in West Sacramento. I remember going up to speak before the council that night. I threw my notes away, and I'm just like, we're not shipping people to Woodland. We take care of people. It's what we do. And as I spoke that, I thought about it later, and I'm like, I sure hope that's what we do. I think that, well, the Mercy Coalition and all of the many partners have proven that every day since then, over then. This is what we do. We don't just give out food. We don't ship people away. These are human beings. We're going to look them in the eye. We're going to love them. We're going to care for them, because everybody, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, everybody deserves to eat, and everybody deserves dignity. And these people know that, and they pass it out.
My name is Nolan Sullivan. I am the branch director for the Health and Human Services Service Center branch, which in a short way means the employment and eligibility services for Yolo County. So we have an office here in West Sac, and an office in Woodland, and an office in Winters. West Sac has its own set of problems, just like Davis and just like Woodland. I think in West Sac in particular, though, some of the problems are just the infrastructure and the presence of folks that are here to support the homeless. And the river is kind of a highway for homeless folks, and oftentimes you have folks kind of traveling up and down the state or back and forth across the river. And I think in West Sac in particular, the need here is pretty intensive. And so there's just lots of folks that need services and need help.
The coalition began with really a handshake and the recognition of a need. There was a fire at the Broderick Christian Center that burned down their day shelter, and that's where the homeless had gathered every day for a meal. And so for 6 weeks, the churches came together to fill that gap until the Broderick Christian Center could get back on their feet. They came to the Collings Teen Center, our longtime partner, and began to make sandwiches every day and could take them out to the homeless until the Broderick Christian Center could get back on its feet and serving lunches. Well, in 2013, suddenly that funding dried up for those lunches, and the churches came together again.
People do contact us at the church, or other churches will call and say, hey, we have this family that has a need. And the biggest need is beds. When you see kids sleeping on floors, and so how do we, or elderly people. This last week, I had a 90-year-old woman sleeping on the floor. And so how do we fulfill those needs right away? And beds are the biggest, and couches and kitchen tables to eat off of. This is the basics.
My name is Lynn. I'm the lunch coordinator with our Mercy Coalition. A wonderful team of people come here 5 days a week, put together pizza, sandwiches, and wonderful snacks and hygiene products and gifts for children. We have toys and juices, and 5 days a week head out to social services and feed our neighborhood. It's something that's very strong in all of our hearts. We love doing it. Do you have any questions?
It's not easy to be homeless. And even if you have a home but not enough food, that's not easy either. I cannot imagine what these people go through, and my heart goes out to them. And, that's why I like to come here. It's important to me.
I was homeless. When I was 18 years old, I was homeless and lived in a panel truck, which I didn't think that was homeless then because we were in a panel truck. But my husband and I, he had very long hair and couldn't get a job. I had a job working waitressing at the Italian Cottage in Chico, and I'd have to hitchhike to and from work, and he'd stand down on Mangrove and watch me. Whatever car I got in to get a ride to work, he'd write down their license plate, and I'd go to work, earn my little bit of money, and come home to our panel truck.
My name is Mark Sawyer. I'm the homeless manager for the city of West Sacramento, but I'm stationed here at the police department, and so I answer directly to the police chief and Sergeant Roger Kenny. And I am a social worker that works in a capacity with law enforcement, which is somewhat kind of a unique position. There's probably not a lot of social workers working for police departments, but it's been a great experience. We estimate that there's 75 people at any time living outside in the West Sacramento, and so some time ago, prior to my tenure, some people I got together and thought, you know, we're not going to arrest our way out of this problem of homelessness, right? And so somebody had decided that having social workers kind of get into the assistance with law enforcement would be beneficial. So we kind of came up with this thing, services first approach, and what it essentially is, it's pairing services with enforcement efforts, right? So the enforcement issues can't be lost on us because it still is illegal to camp in the city of West Sacramento. But we realized that just arresting people or taking their stuff wasn't really solving the problem. So we paired it with social work, which is where I come in. And what we do is we do the services first, which is I go out into camps before we tell these people to leave, before we take their stuff, before they get arrested or cited. You know, they meet with me and I see what their issues are, what it will take to get them from point A to point B being permanent housing, no longer homeless, and we go from there. And you know, it's a variety of different roads it takes to get permanent housing, but I work on it and send the proper referrals and do what we have to do.
It's easy to assume that government, you know, sort of the formal government entities are responsible and can do it all. And the fact of the matter is that's not the case. We really do largely need to rely on the goodwill and the big hearts of folks in our community who want to step up and do good work.
I am the Vice President of Mercy Coalition here in West Sacramento, and I believe I've been involved about 2 years. See the people that are serving, really caring about the people, and knowing people's names, knowing what's happening in their lives, knowing their dogs, you know, knowing a little bit. I love to see that the fact that they're just not handing them something, but they're involved in their lives to whatever degree that they can be involved in it. And I see people that are out there that come up, that recognize the workers, that appreciate the workers. And I hear kind things like, thank you, I appreciate what you're doing for us, and those kinds of things, and those things are great.
We get wonderful pizza donated 7 days a week from Little Caesars and various teams that come in Monday through Friday. According to how many pizzas we get, we bag up anywhere between 4 and 6 pieces of pizza in a bag every day. Our various churches within the coalition donate within their churches in their areas wonderful snacks to bring to put together to marry with the sandwiches or pizza. So we have big full lunches. We try to have a salty snack, a sweet snack, and a fruit. And then the meal, the gusto of the lunch, which would be sandwiches or the pizza, and take it out to our people 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Social Services has given us a wonderful spot under the trees, given us our own garbage can, our own parking space, and it's very comfortable there. Our people look forward to us being there 5 days a week, and on the weekend, the third weekend every month, that we bring a hot meal on a Saturday and a Sunday. It's just a glorious, wonderful thing, and we're all so proud to be a part of it.
And the Mercy Coalition in particular is very important because they have the same common goal as I do, which is to combat homelessness, provide help, improve people's quality of life. So as many people that have the same common goals as I do, or more specifically the police department in the city, is beneficial to us. So the Mercy Coalition helps with feeding, they can help with respite housing when needed, and just having a group of people together that we can work together towards the same common goal is always going to work in our favor.
And there's always special things for the children because there's mommies that come with their kids too. In our car we keep a tote of assorted different toys for girls and boys and nice little cartoon shoes so we can make them feel special and comfortable. Sometimes the kids, especially a little older teenage type, young teen kids, are kind of embarrassed to come up, but when you greet them with smiles and little gifts and a nice lunch, it makes them feel more comfortable.
One of the things that I've noticed kind of working in this industry is that you have to establish trust and rapport with your clients, and so you've got to establish a sense of respect and dignity with folks. And I think that oftentimes folks are kind of hesitant to accept services or accept help unless they really know folks or really feel comfortable. And I have to say, your volunteers, you know, they know everyone by a first name basis. They ask about their health, how they're doing, how their dog's doing, how their mom's doing, and it really is a sense of community. It's interesting too when you see. You'll get a newcomer, right? Someone new to the lunch, and maybe they throw trash on the lawn. And everyone there that's participating kind of takes care of the site. So all the other participants say, hey, like, you gotta pick that up. So what happens is you've created kind of this little mini community with their own rules and ethics and guidance that really kind of self-govern and run themselves. And I think the other really cool thing too is that they start to know where the resources are at, or where to refer folks, or, oh, you need this, we'll go inside and get that. Oh, you need that, go see Mark Sawyer across the street. So they become this linkage point where they kind of have this, like little mini guides, navigators, right? And so not only are they caring about their well-being, but they're also referring them to resources.
I have a need to feed. I love feeding people, and feeding people that really appreciate and love being fed. It's just a wonderful blessing. It's just a wonderful thing to be a part of. I just really couldn't be any prouder or happier. I'll do this forever. I mean, I'll do this forever. I love helping people. I have been volunteering in West Sacramento for 7 years, 4 years with our coalition, and it just really rings true to my heart, to the whole team, to everybody.
I think the Mercy Coalition was a perfect example. It was perfectly positioned to sort of step in and fill a void that was needed in a very real way at a perfect time. And thank goodness, because I know that in my experience, sitting on a statewide task force between the League of Cities and the State Association of Counties that I've been asked to co-chair over the course of the last 12 months, we've learned that repeatedly that organizations like the Mercy Coalition up and down the state have been a central point in making an impact in the issue of homelessness throughout communities up and down the state of California.
Why do you do this, Liz?
Because it fills our heart, because we don't want anybody to be hungry. Nobody should be hungry. We don't only tend to the homeless, we tend to our whole neighborhood. There's lots of people that are getting up out of the street into their place for the first time. Folks that it takes everything that they have to make their rent and their utilities, and they need help with their meals. And some people honestly show up just to be loved by us, and that's the truth. Some people even that have graduated have their own home and don't need the food, but still come to bring us bags to donate. They have graduated that they're on the other side of it, bringing bags to help out, or juices, or cookies, and jars of peanut butter. It's gone full circle for so many people. It's really wonderful. And the team, my team of girls, Elaine and Susan, the Tuesday and Thursday, all the team, we're all here because we love our neighborhood, we love people, and we love life, and we like being a part of it.
Again, I'm always referencing the scripture. That's and the scripture says that we're one body, and all the parts of the body work together. All parts of the body don't have the same function, but when they're working together, it's a fine-tuned unit. And so there's always room for other people, because other people bring other gifts, they bring other ideas, they bring a synergy to the whole thing. So there are a lot of needs here, not only in the area of homelessness, but there's gangs, there's violence, there's political things, of course, police things. So there's a lot of work to be done, and the more people we have involved, the better it's going to be for reaching our goal.
I feel like as bad as this world is, there's still some good people in it.